My name's Dave DeBow, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewsyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content. Hey folks, welcome back. Today our special guest is Jeff McCarley. He is zooming in from a toasty hot Arizona this fine early June day. And Jeff is going from smaller deals into bigger deals. He's getting into multifamily syndication, and he wants to focus on capital raising and investor relations. So Jeff, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Thanks for having me, Dave. Appreciate it.
So give us a little snapshot, real estate wise. What do you kind of been into, and why are you getting into multifamily at this point?
Well, so start off back probably 3-4 years ago into single family real estate investing. It was going good, but it's been real slow scaling. It was a lot easier when interest rates were 3-4%, as they get higher.
And what kind of deals were you doing in the single family homes?
Long-term rentals for the most part here in Arizona.
Okay.
And we've slowly started selling those off. We're down to our last one now, trying to deploy that capital into multifamily deals.
Okay.
So,
and are you a limited partner on some other projects right now, or a co-GP?
Yes, a limited partner on one other deal right now, looking to get into another one coming up at the end of June, potentially, and doing a capital raise on that as well.
Okay, cool. So you've got some experience in single family home, long-term buy and hold. How many properties did you have at kind of the peak of the portfolio?
We had 3 at the peak of the property. Just three, only 3. Sorry. So it wasn't a huge portfolio, but I can tell you I didn't like the tenants' toilets aspect of it.
I was going to say, yeah, that's enough to learn all about that. So what kind of sparked you about multifamily, and what was that light bulb moment for you where you said, heck with single family homes and tenants or toilets, let's scale with multifamily?
Well, so the kind of a small backstory is it's slow to scale as in single family, which is okay as long as you're patient and you're able to grow. My wife her name's Cammie. She's a nurse practitioner, and a couple of years ago, she actually got diagnosed with MS, multiple sclerosis, and so she's been in healthcare for over 20 years in different facets. And I'm like, okay, well, I want to get her retired because those long 12-hour shifts are starting to take her toll, and single family is just not going to get us there quick enough. So by scaling up to multifamily, getting into some syndications, doing some capital raising, being able to scale a little bit quicker will help us reach our goals of getting her, my goal of getting her retired from her
job,
her grind. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, she loves what she does, but there's just some days that is very taxing on her body.
I hear it. I hear it, Jeff. Well, you know what? You got that sucks. And I'm sorry for that. And it is what it is.
Right.
The silver lining to all of this is that you've got a massive burning why. Right. Like, it's not this would be kind of nice to do kind of thing. It's like, we got to make this happen. I got to get her dialed in, and working at the JOB or buying onesie twosie single family homes, that cash flow is not going to cut it. So yeah. Okay. Good to know.
Agreed.
Thanks for the backstory.
Agreed.
There.
Yep. Sorry, but that's what got me into multifamily.
Okay. So but that's the big why. So there's all sorts of different ways that you can do real estate. What appealed to you, and how did you hear about apartment building investing, multifamily investing?
Well, found a 3-day course called Multifamily Mindset with Tyler Devereaux. Went to one of his 3-day course, and then ended up going to a Brad Sumrocker event at the Apartment King out of Texas. And they all focus on multifamily investing. It's able to scale. You're able to get into larger deals by bringing other people's capital together, and it had more of appeal to it, because you have the LP aspect of it, then you have a GP aspect of it. If you're on the GP team, maybe a small percentage of an acquisition fee, and so and the tax depreciation. So it all kind of worked out in my favor, where those stars kind of aligned a little bit and were exciting to me.
Okay, very, very cool. So you've decided to focus more on the capital raising side of things, Jeff. So I imagine you've gotten quite a bit of training and coaching around that. What's your plan? How are you diving into that, and what are you doing to find investors and raise capital for these projects you want to become part of?
Social media is the big one. I'm new to social media. Never liked it. But you got to have a following. You got to reach out to people, and LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, all those are slowly growing, but they're growing for sure. Before 8 months ago, I didn't have any social media, so starting from ground zero has been tough. But I go to several meetups here in Arizona with other operators and syndicators, trying to go to large events like Raise Fest or like I said, the Brad Sumrock events. They're great, and just focusing on meeting the right people and getting my name out there and talking to folks. So being able to give educational content and add value to people online is where I'm starting, and it's going slow, but it's going.
Good, good. Are you open to some thoughts or ideas?
Yeah, 100%, absolutely.
Well, let me ask you a question first. So, Jeff, with the projects you're going to be part of, when they're raising capital, are they going to be 506B or 506C type deals? What are you going to be raising for?
Well, most off at 506B, roll into 506C, and go from there, or a fund to funds model as well.
Okay. So bottom line is you will be able to raise some capital from non-accredited investors as long as you have a pre-existing relationship.
Correct.
Am I
Correct.
understanding that correctly?
Yep.
Okay, cool. And what's your background professionally, Jeff?
So right now I do air rescue in Arizona out here. I'm a state trooper and a paramedic. So we fly around the state, pulling people out of bad situations, whether it be hiking, ATV accidents, horseback accidents. Dehydration is obviously pretty popular out here.
Right,
And so we do a lot of rescues, hoist rescues, and swiftwater rescues. We transport to the hospital quite a bit. We're just in the Grand Canyon the other day. I was hiking the Grand Canyon the other day, and one of my friends got injured, dehydration and stuff like that. So I was able to, I had
Help
some of
them
my
out.
medic stuff with me and able to get him out of there,
Wow.
safely. So that was always fun. So
Okay. So here's an idea for you. And maybe stop me if you've already done this. But back in the day when I was working with newer capital raisers, we would focus on their existing network, their
right,
friends and family right now. Because what you're doing to educate and create social media, online presence, and all that stuff, that's good. That's good. A faster path to the cash for you, early days, at least to the first, several 100,000, maybe up to 1 million, is to really connect with your existing network, right? Because for somebody to invest 50 grand minimum, if that's what the minimum is,
right.
they got to know you, like you, and trust you. To create that know, like, and trust online with somebody cold is very difficult.
Sure is.
It's yeah, you're realizing that, right? So here's what I'm going to recommend, Jeff. I'm going to recommend that find the old cell phone and
Yep.
go into your contacts and export all of your contacts, get them in an Excel spreadsheet. Same thing with all of your email contacts, personal email contacts, export them all into an Excel spreadsheet. If you got old shoeboxes full of business cards, scan them, get them into that Excel spreadsheet. Like everybody that you know outside of the real estate space, right? Everybody
Right.
that you know kind of personally from work and church and your wife's connections and all these. Typically there's going to be a couple of hundred people who you know and who know Jeff McCarley. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we start with those folks, right? And then here's a shortcut. Do what's called a warm-up campaign. A warm-up campaign. And what we do with this is just get all of those people into some sort of a CRM email type system, MailChimp, or what. You probably already got something set up, right?
Yes, sir.
Get them all in there and then send them, right, what I call an old fashioned Christmas letter type thing, right? I don't know about you, Jeff, but back when I was a kid, my Aunt Nadine used to every year write a big long Christmas letter photocopy that sucker, be like 5 or 6 pages long, and send that off to the whole family. You're probably
Yep.
too young to remember
No,
anything
no,
like
I
that.
still get those myself.
Oh,
So
do you? Okay.
yeah,
So it's that
100%.
idea, but we don't wait till Christmas. We don't
Okay.
wait till Christmas, right? We do it now. Hey, it's Jeff. Chances are it's been a while since we connected. It's been too long. I just want to reach out, see how you're doing, and let you know what me and the family have been up to for the last, I'd say 3 or 4, 5 years, right? So just do a
Okay.
quick little catch up. Here's what's going on. Do you have kids?
Yes, sir.
All right. So
Uh,
you talk about the wife, you talk about the kids, vacations you've taken, all this kind of stuff. Talk about the good stuff. Also, if you're comfortable with it, talk a little bit about the not so good stuff, but don't make it sound at all pitchy about real estate. It really is
okay.
kind of like that personal connection message, right? And you send that out to all 200 people on your list, right? And the end of that letter says, well, that's enough about me. How about you? How are you doing? Please hit reply to this email. I'd love to catch up. And you
Okay.
send that sucker out. Okay. And then your job is, Jeff, respond to the people that get back to you. Like have a little bit of back and forth there. Is this really you, Jeff? You've been hacked. This is weird. What's going on? No, it's really me. That's yeah. How are you? By the way, how are you doing? Yeah. Get that reconnection going, right?
Okay.
Because the big mistake we all make is we plow in, we try to raise capital right off the get go. Big mistake. Warm them up first. So that's the first message. Then maybe about a week later, take a look in your system who didn't open that first message, who hasn't got back to you, right? You can track all this stuff with a CRM.
Yep.
Then you send out another quick little message, but this time do a Loom video, like do a video message. Hey, it's Jeff. It's been a while since we connected. I emailed you last week. You might not have got it. So I thought I'd shoot you a quick little video. Just connect, see how you're doing. And here's what I've been up to. And then you just kind of talk about the same thing you wrote about in the first one. But this one, it's visual. Okay. And
Yep.
then the same thing. Hey, if you haven't got back to me, love to hear back. Let me know how you're doing. Let's connect. Send that sucker up and then follow up with those folks as well. Okay. Now
Yeah.
here's where the magic happens. That's all nice and wonderful, but how does that turn into capital, right? So ideally, you're the people that connect with you, get them in a ongoing communication. You doing a newsletter or something like that?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I got a
Beautiful.
newsletter and
Yeah. So let them know, hey, I'm doing something new. I'm getting into investing in apartment buildings. Don't call it multifamily investing. Most people don't know what that means, right? Investing in apartment buildings. They get that, right? And get them on your list for sending that newsletter. But then here's where the magic happens, Jeff. You reach out to those folks that you had that connection with, and you say, let's say you were one of those people for me. Hey, Jeff, really good reconnecting with you a couple of weeks ago. I was wondering if I could ask you for a quick favor. I've put together a little presentation about what I'm up to in apartment buildings with investing. I'd really, really appreciate a second set of eyes on this. I'm not trying to sell you anything or anything, but could we jump on a quick Zoom and could I walk you through this just to get your feedback? I really appreciate your opinion on this presentation. All right. Then you do a bunch of these presentations, practice style, and you don't pitch anybody. You just kind of walk them through it and let them see what it's all up to. Kind of, and this is a good practice for you as well. See
yeah, 100%.
what's confusing, what makes sense, what doesn't, and then at the end, I'd say something like this. Well, Jeff, thank you so much. I really appreciate your input. Now I know this probably isn't interesting for you, but do you know anybody else who might be interested in this kind of an investment opportunity? Then one of three things is going to happen, Jeff. They're either going to go, no, yeah, no, I'm not really interested. No, I can't think of anybody. But if somebody comes to mind, I'll let you know. That's okay. You've shown your presentation. You got some practice. The person's watched it with an open mind. If time and circumstances change for them, they'll think of you. Okay. Or the
Yeah.
second option is they'll say, hey, wait a second. This looks kind of cool. I might be interested in this. Boom. Perfect. Do the next thing, whatever that takes to get them down the path. Or the third thing would be, yeah, my brother-in-law Jeff might be interested. Boom, get a warm introduction to Jeff. That make sense?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great advice.
Yeah. I think that'll help you, especially
Yeah.
you just kind of getting started with this. And then the nice thing is, it's tangible, right? This is something you can, all the social media content stuff, that's fine, but that's praying and hoping that somebody responds to you and then
Right.
trying to figure out how to wrangle them onto a call and then all that kind of stuff, right? This is a very stealthy way to kind of help out the folks that you're already connected with get into apartment building investing and get you some friendly practice at the same time.
Yeah, that's genius. But I've heard of like reaching out to existing contacts and stuff like that, but not the breakdown, the detail like that. The follow up with the Loom video. I mean, people respond to video, better than I do. That they respond to video better than they do just email or
Yeah,
text message. So that's great.
exactly.
I definitely have to try that out.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that'll help you out. So, what are the plans for the rest of 2025? You're kind of all set up here. Are you going to be doing like a co-GP type thing, or how are you going to be getting into your first deals, your first multifamily?
Yeah, I teamed up with Johannes Kramelet from Kramelet Capital out of California. He's been in this business for quite some time now. Several deals gone full cycle, and he's kind of mentored me on the side. So being able to work with him, he's the one who will be letting me raise on one of his deals. I've got to know him over the last few months and uh, really trust him. So, and the conservative underwriting and all that is checking out. So focusing
Yes.
on making sure it's a profitable deal for everyone involved, and trying to make sure that we're below, our underwriting is conservative to where we're not over promising,
Yeah,
and
under
under
promise and
so,
over deliver, hopefully. Yes.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's great.
Perfect.
Awesome, Jeff. Well, hey, this is kind of fun. And what what have been some of your early day experiences and challenges with connecting with potential investors?
Like I said, the challenges would probably just be like starting off slow with
Yeah.
the social media stuff. It's not undoable, but just reaching out and time blocking to make sure that I'm on those platforms and when peak hours, right, and when people are on and reaching out to them individually. But what I've really learned is that most people in this industry, capital raisers, GPs, even single family fix and flippers, wholesalers, they're all very helpful. Like everyone wants to help everyone else. And I really like that a lot. Like no one is stepping on anyone's back to get to the top. I mean, there are some bad apples out there, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but overall, most people are very helpful and they want to see other people succeed, and so I found that to be very inspiring and great. Like I want to be that person as I'm talking to, you know, newer people starting off when I have more experience or
Yeah.
my investors, and I want to be able to help them. And I like that a lot.
So the content that you're creating right now, what would be an example of the kind of content that you're putting out there?
Well, I put out a weekly newsletter. I put out a post about how multifamily helps out. How people can invest in multifamily, the educational aspect of it, some a few personal posts, of like my day to day at work, or some polls, of and try to keep it lighthearted and stuff like that. Just trying to get some more engagement, and that's kind of what I focus on right now. And
Good.
some,
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're kind of leaning in a little bit towards your day to day in your profession. Because here's what you might not realize, Jeff. What you do, a lot of people would consider to be very cool, like
yep,
very interesting, right? Like search and rescue and law enforcement and all that kind of stuff. That's out of the norm for most of us. There's a gazillion real estate guys out there, a gazillion capital raiser guys out there. What makes you different is that background. So if I were you, I would might consider leaning more into that and wherever you can without it being too much of a stretch, kind of tying it in to what you're doing in real estate. So are
okay.
you still doing regular law enforcement? Like, are you out in the cop car doing stuff, or is it all search and rescue type stuff?
It's all we do law enforcement stuff from the air though. Everything that I do is out of a helicopter. So
Yeah.
we're running the camera, calling out pursuits, or
Excellent.
any kind of like SWAT barricades and
Extra
stuff like
cool.
that. The extra cool stuff,
That is
yes.
extra cool stuff.
So stolen vehicles and pursuits is a lot of fun. That kind of stuff. So
I would lean in. I would figure out a way to lean into that a lot more. especially selfies, and short little videos of you hanging out of helicopters, all that kind of stuff. It's just going to get eyeball. It's going to get so many more eyeballs, so much more interest than just boring, mundane real estate stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I
You got
agree.
an unfair advantage there, my friend. Take advantage of it.
I've always had a like. I'm not one for the camera. I've never really been big in it, but I something I have to get out of my comfort zone. I'm not a guy who likes accolades or anything like that. I just like to show up, do my job, do it well, and help people along the way. And
Yeah.
so search and rescue has always been different because I've always been behind the scenes, and now I got to try to be comfortable being in front, and being on camera and putting myself out there, right? But
Yeah, baby steps, man. But I'm just
that's it.
thinking like getting some selfies hanging out of the helicopter is huge. That's
Yep,
great stuff.
100%, 100%. I'm gonna do
Awesome,
that. I'm
Jeff.
gonna send you some videos, Dave.
Yeah, yeah, I'd love to see them. So in the meantime, if people want to connect with you, where should they go, Jeff?
They can connect with me at northrimcapitalgroup.com, our website. Phone number, emails there, and be happy to connect with anyone.
Awesome. Very good. Well, I wish you the very best. And thanks for being on the show, Jeff. This has been fun.
Thanks for all the information, Dave. Appreciate you.
My pleasure. All right, everybody, take care. We'll see you on the next one. Hey there. I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewsyou.com.